All right, welcome to class. If you're watching this video, you're enrolled in POLS 1113, American Federal Government. My name is Ken Hicks, and I'm the Department Head of History and Political Science. I may or may not be your primary instructor, but I am the principal author of the online version of this course, and as such, I hope you'll see me as a resource as you work your way through the course material. I enjoy teaching American government for several reasons. First, I like a challenge. I have found a lot of students who sign up for this course don't have much enthusiasm for politics, so I view it as my job to persuade those who don't see the point of a course like this, that even if you're not interested in politics, politics is interested in you. Related to the first reason is the fact that politics works better when citizens are well informed and well versed in both their rights and their responsibilities. A third reason why I enjoy teaching American government is that I'm pretty good at it. I've been doing this for 23 years. I've been at Rogers State University for 23 years. Taught American government several years prior to that when I was adjuncting at various places. And I've always had at least one section of American government the whole time I've been here at RSU. So I have a pretty good idea of what works and what doesn't work in helping students understand our constitutional system. Which is, needless to say, very complex. What should you expect to learn in this course? First, here's what you won't learn. No one at RSU is going to try to ideologically program you in any way. It's not our job to tell you how to think. Liberal, conservative, moderate, socialist, libertarian, that's for you to decide. I hope that we will dissuade you from becoming a fascist or a radical of some kind, but that's not really what we're here to do. What we are hopeful for is that we can help you develop the intellectual tools to sharpen your perspective and make you a better critical thinker and hopefully a better citizen. You might also become a better liberal, conservative, libertarian, or socialist because of what you learn in the course. Studies on the effects the effects on students of taking a course in American federal government is that often it will have a moderating effect on their beliefs. Students who develop good news gathering habits from taking a government course are also more resistant to disinformation than non-college educated Americans. Students who master the material in this course should be able to do the following. One, understand how democracy works and how the political institutions of the United States contribute to democratic governance. Two, effectively analyze major trends, events, and personalities. Three, evaluate different political systems and processes. And four, understand how history shapes politics through major trends in social, society, family, education, economics, and religion. The assigned text is published by McGraw-Hill. It is a downloadable ebook that is application-based. It is also evergreen, which means it's updated every 6 months. And it has a very neat assessment package that provides a variety of contemporaneous issues and events that we can use to learn from. In terms of course requirements, there are several different assignments that are due each week, and that each of the assignments are divided into modules based on the text assignment. All these different assignments are worth points, which add up to 1,000 points. So in simple terms, in order to earn an A for the course, you need to earn 900 points from all those various assignments. I strongly encourage you to attempt all the assignments, which are described in the course syllabus, and I'll spend a minute to discuss them as well. A lot of the homework-related assignments are self-explanatory. The news flash assignment requires you to read one or two brief news stories and then answer some questions about that particular story. The podcast assignment is similar, except that you'll be listening to a radio podcast and again answering questions related to the first half hour of the recording. There are also a couple of short writing assignments. I don't like to assign 20-page long research writing assignments, particularly in the summer. I just don't think that people have time to form a decent research agenda. However, I am convinced that learning how to write is one of those skill sets that is incredibly valuable to students in terms of their careers. The ability to clearly express oneself in writing is one of those skills that employers tend to rate very highly in terms of what they're looking for in prospective employees. For that reason, I have students do a couple of relatively brief writing assignments, just a couple of pages. I also think it's best because many of you haven't taken either of the comp classes yet, and I think it's very good. It's important for you to not, those kids who have taken that class, they have an advantage over the kids who haven't. There are also 2 quizzes that are worth 20 points each, and students will take those quizzes somewhere in the midway point before the midterm and the final examination. Students should note that doing poorly on a quiz isn't the end of the world. They're only 20-point assignments, but it's an important indicator that you might not be committing the required time to studying the material. So be careful about that. If you do badly on a quiz, take note of it. Finally, there are the 2 examinations, each worth 100 points. The midterm covers the material from modules 2 through 8, while the final examination covers the material from modules 9 through 16. I don't believe in comprehensive examinations, final examinations, so you're off the hook on that one. The last assignment I want to point out to you are the weekly discussions. These can be found in the 2nd module of each week. You should view these discussions as sort of a week-long virtual classroom, and again, follow the instructions very carefully. The difference is you can't sit in the back of your virtual classroom and say nothing and earn credit for the assignment. You have to post a comment that demonstrates to me that you've read the assigned material, and then you have to make at least 4 replies to your fellow classmates' posts or something that I have posted. With these kinds of assignments, what I'm looking for, again, is substantive engagement with the material. It's not sufficient for you to simply summarize a portion of the assigned reading. You need to demonstrate not merely that you've looked at the material, but also that you have given the material some critical thought. So to illustrate, simply writing, I found the description of federalism as the division of power between national and regional governments really interesting. That ain't going to cut it. You need to do more. Here's an illustration of a more substantive post. I find federalism really interesting. I was wondering why the Constitution's framers decided on dividing authority that way. In my opinion, it's got some real advantages, but also some important disadvantages. Among the advantages are the states have the latitude to experiment with public policies to see if they work. And if they do work, then other states can follow along. The biggest disadvantage to me is that state governments also can discriminate against segments of their population, like many state governments are doing now with bathroom bans for LGBTQ kids. I think that's a problem. So that's sort of an illustration. Again, first of all, it's a much longer and substantive statement. It's over 100 words. I would say you should look at that as your benchmark when you're doing those weekly discussions. So the main point of the weekly discussions is for you students to help me identify the material that you're struggling with, so I can help clear up any confusion or misunderstanding. With the weekly discussions and with all other assignments in this course, you will get out of them what you put into them. If you put in the effort, I'm sure you'll learn the material and do well in the course. If you're mailing it in, though, you're not going to get as much out of the course. So I think I've covered the main points for the course. Once again, welcome to class. I hope you have an enjoyable summer learning all about American government.